films. Like, I did some independent films with Master P. A lot of those movies did really well.
I'm ambitious, I'm a hustler. I have my own lane.
That's the thing about comedy. You wake up every day, you don't know if you're funny that day.
Hey, wait a minute. Yeah, hey. What's the good word, people? Welcome back to the program, man. This is Let's Go Live with Lamont King. I'm Lamont King, and we are now live. Let's go. Let's go. It's Monday. They gave you another one. Could have gone the other way, but it went this way. So we're glad you're here. We are here broadcasting live from the newly remodeled Drunken Fruit Studios.
I don't care if it is a closet. You still looking mad official.
Thank you, Lord Jamal. Appreciate you. Monday through Friday. Lord willing, 6 p.m. 7 East Coast time. Shout out to everybody watching right now worldwide and on the West Coast. Speaking of worldwide, I talked to Yama Cavanis from Progressive Traveler. Told her that y'all was trying to get an update, see where she's at. She said she's gonna come back on. We're gonna try to do something. It's a bit of a time difference. We're gonna have to pre-record it because she's actually in South Africa right now on a like a humanitarian mission. She turned a vacation into a humanitarian mission. It's an awesome story. She helping like bring water to and housing to some village. This is on her spare time. So we're all not living up to our expectations apparently. But anyway, I told her y'all were checking for us, so she said she's gonna come on real soon, hopefully before the end of this week. All right, if you're just tuning in for the first time, welcome to the show. This is Something Like a Podcast, best piece of live broadcasting you're gonna get at this hour right now anywhere. So deal with it. First timers, welcome. Repeat offenders, I see y'all. Good to see y'all in the chat. You know what I mean? Mr. Clarkson, our executive producer down the hall in Studio G on the technicals, and our New York bureau chief standing by with up to the minute information, John Watson from All Fun and Games. Good to see you. All right, let's get to it. Dynamite situations lined up today. The Great Conjunction. The Great Conjunction. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I see everyone's talking about their superpowers, and kudos to y'all for really cosplaying it up today. It shows you how much free time you all have and how bored we all are as a people. Because, man, the Great Conjunction got some of y'all really, really in the third grade right now. But it's all good. If you don't know what the Great Conjunction is, Saturn and Jupiter in your midnight sky are the closest they've been to the human eye in about 800 years. So some type of astronomical phenomenon going on, and which is a wonderful thing. But somebody on Twitter felt the need to, 3 weeks ago, throw some bullshit out there. Some Zoomer, millennial / Zoomer, said that, December 21st is going to be a great awakening globally where people of color, their DNA will be unlocked and we'll have superpowers. And what started as a meme or a joke ran, and some of y'all are really having a good time with it. And I salute you. I'm not going to be the party pooper. I'm not going to be the buzzkill. I'm going to let y'all have y'all fun, man. So there's that. I see it's X-ray vision. We have a Wonder Woman in the chat up. Sure. Okay. All right. Anyway, I still ain't done with the housekeeping. So housekeeping, we are 100% funded by viewers like you. For viewer support, check us out. The Cash App is wide open. $ Lamont King 06. Whenever you hear one of these, or if you feel a good moment, or you learn something new, or had a good hearty laugh, go ahead, slide us a loose dollar. We ain't gonna turn it down. And also the Patreon is wide open too. Patreon.com/Mr. Lamont King. We have some new patrons, some new donors. I gotta shout y'all out because y'all get individual shout outs. A repeat donor, one of our building blocks of the show. Let's go live. Jay Elite, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you. She subsidized the show all the way through 2021. Hey, man, you can't be mad at that. And Rachel, newcomer Rachel, I appreciate you. James Wright and Joanne. All right. Hey, shout out to y'all, man. Y'all get mentions because you part of it. You're a piece of the puzzle. You're a brick in the foundation. You're the cement in the mortar. Ain't they the same thing? All right. So back to the superpowers, right? So black people are supposed to have superpowers today. I don't know if it's supposed to last just today or it's supposed to be ongoing, because I don't know how does that work? Do they evaporate? Do they expire in 2020? Either way, this was funny. It's the funniest thing you'll see all day. So let's get to it. Let's start the show. Man, people on Instagram, I mean, just the internet, they're creative. Shout out to the youngsters who are just damn creative. I thought this was funny. So this is Imagine If. It's one of those Imagine Ifs. All right, let me pull this in real quick. There's some funny shit. All right, turn the mic over the baby show.
Hey guys, RDC TV here. We know it's the 21st and we see you guys with your cakes. We were trying to see if you would explain how you're going to use your powers for good.
Explain? Nigga, we ain't explaining shit, nigga. Hey, this is news, huh? Hey, after days of niggas explaining shit to y'all, that shit is whole. I'm gonna tell you. What we can do is press these powers on your head, huh? Hey, show what you can do real fast. Show.
Okay.
That's only one power you got. That's fine. Hey, show. Me, we go up there. Go. Hey, and we call it
Go.
flat. Yes, we got hero, man. What you think mine is? Hero, boy. Hey, you know what it is. Hey, hold on. Let him come back. Jump man! Stop playing with us! So, now that we got these powers, we want to enact a few changes for y'all. The first thing is, how y'all did us in the 17 and 1800s, that's how we're going to do y'all.
Wait, what do you mean?
What you mean?
What do you mean?
I said, what y'all did to us in the 1700s and 1800s, that's what we're going to do y'all. So if y'all did good to us, y'all got to worry about that.
Are you referring to slavery?
Hey, nigga, you said that! Hey, who said that? You said that! That's all we said! Hey, in the $600 stimulus checks, y'all gonna live off that shit. Y'all live exactly. Y'all vaccines, y'all doing that shit first. Everything that y'all made us do, you doing. Cause how you gonna stop us? Not saying we gonna do nothing. But how you gonna stop us? I just wanna tell you one more thing real fast. Hey, we the new Justice League. You know what I'm saying? Four flat, jump man, we the new Justice League. Y'all gonna do what we say, alright? Now, broadcasters and everybody, because if we don't see this broadcaster, we gonna come see y'all. We gonna come see y'all, alright? So, Justice League, who? Yeah, Four Flat, Jumpman, Heater, and every other black person you see, they all in Justice League too. Hey, y'all better do what we say. We gone.
Four Flat, Heater, and Jumpman. That is funny. Hilarious. Excellent work. Man. That's the game now, man. The game is just create on the spot and let it fly. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Faux flat. No, like faux flat, like the 440 speed for, that. But yeah, tough. All right. So tomorrow, I know the stimulus is a big conversation today. So tomorrow we're going to be having that conversation. We're going to have a Politico stop by, politics junkie who's been on several of the TV news stations that you watch every night. She's going to help break us down, help us break down the stimulus and the impact and the foolishness surrounding that. So that's going to be tomorrow. Also, Cuban Cigar Smoker is on Wednesday. The continuation of a couple weeks ago cigar conversation, and also tomorrow back is Life Taggers. Life Taggers are coming back. We had that interview, but it's going to be more enhanced, new information, and they're going to walk me through the app live on the show. That's what we're doing tomorrow. But right about now, man, I'm gonna bring into the show a good friend of mine, veteran DC comic, who's making waves in entertainment, Hollywood and beyond. We talk a lot about on this show about independent projects and doing for self. And this young lady is the epitome of that, the prototype, the blueprint, the architect. Please welcome to the show. I see her talking. Can you hear me? Okay, I was make sure because I don't want to catch you in the middle of talking to your agent. Please welcome to the show, Alicia Cooper, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Lamont, how you doing?
You hear? Can we hear? Thumbs up in the chat if y'all can hear. Thumbs up in the chat if y'all can hear.
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
There we go. You got all your G's because you got to have G's on this show. You got to have 5 G's, not just 3, not just 4.
Yeah, I got all of them. I got all, and I'm using my snowball mic, my blue snowball. Can you hear me?
Oh, the real kind.
Yeah.
Tilt your picture down just a tad so we can clear that space above you. Just a tad. There we. Yeah.
Is that good?
Perfect.
All right. How you been?
I've been good. How are you? You looking well?
Man, I'm trying to make it, man. I shot 2 films in a pandemic.
Yeah. And we gonna talk about it. We gonna slow walk it. We gotta let the people know who you are first. Give us a little bit of your background. Tell us, where you're from and roll off some of your mini credits.
Okay, so let me tell y'all, I'm from Temple Hills, Maryland. And I started out while I was a student in Maryland College Park. I started interning at BET in DC. And so, because I always had a love for television production, my major was radio, television, and film at University of Maryland. And then after I graduated, I ended up working at BET. And then I moved to LA and then I'm working at BET in LA. I produced some shows like O Drama with Kim Whitley, Vanessa Bell Calloway, and Mari Morrow. Went on to do a bunch of shows for BET and then did some reality shows for BET. I produced College Hill. I produced DMX's reality show, Little Kim's reality show, a bunch of stuff. And then I worked on some sitcoms. That was a lot of fun. I was in the writer's room with the best in the business. Sarah Finney Johnson started out on The Jeffersons. And she co-created Moesha and then went on to Parker. So I'm sitting in the room with her. Bill co-created 227. Remember 227?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, just awesome experience. And I was hoping that I would get a chance to stay in the writer's room because I was a trainee. And unfortunately, I didn't understand how it worked. Other people were in line in front of me, assistants and production assistants and writer's assistants. Everybody was in line in front of me. So I didn't get to stay. So I went back to reality shows. Then I started doing stand-up comedy full time because I've been a comic for 20 years. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to really try to figure out what is it that I want to do. And this pandemic, just for me, like it did for a lot of other Americans, gave us enough time to sit down Indian style corner and figure out what we wanted to do with our lives. You know what? Let me continue my road of writing and directing things that I wrote. Because some people get to direct things other people wrote, but that hasn't been my experience. So to direct, I had to write.
Right.
So that wrote Trade, and that was a 30-minute, half-hour short. The best way I could describe that is Brokeback Mountain and Moonlight meet Fatal Attraction.
Okay.
The second one was Just Us.
Wait a minute. Let's slow that down. Brokeback Mountain, the movie, Moonlighting, the TV show.
No, Moonlight. Moonlight, the movie that won. Remember that year that was a mix-up with who won? And it ended up Yeah, Moonlight and meets Fatal Attraction. So 3 Oscar Award nominated movies, are all inspired me in various ways. So that's Trade. And then Just Us is a movie about, I always say, like, sometimes there's justice and sometimes there's just us.
Okay.
And so Just Us is about a guy who got away with lynching a young man when he was young in college, him and his buddies, because he thought the young man had made advances to his sister. And the young man comes back to him in adult form, and they have a conversation because the older judge is living his best life, and the young black man never got an opportunity to.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it's
more,
supernatural
drama. More of a drama.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So the last one, don't say it yet. I'm gonna save that one. I'm gonna save that one. So up to this point, right? So you pivoted. So a little backstory. When I was here, when I was in DC, coming up in DC radio, and I started comedy, you were around, but you were kind of back and forth. You were like one of the people that left early, left town and hit the road and went to Hollywood. And when I got to Hollywood, you were really in a groove. You were in a groove. You were doing mainstream and urban, and like you said, you were in the writers' rooms or whatever. Talk about the industry as it was then for you as a female, as a Black female.
Ooh, difficult.
Yeah.
Difficult, because what we have to realize is most industries are male dominated. It doesn't matter what the industry is. If you talk about medicine, most of the doctors are men. If it doesn't matter what Fortune 500 companies, most of the CEOs are men, and comedy is no different.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of men. Men look out for men. It's a boys club, a boys network. So you always feel like this interloper trying to infiltrate a profession that's not meant for you. So, and then when women get breaks, they don't help other women because they're like, it can only be one.
Yeah, right, right.
So, where men don't feel that there can only be one. So, it's difficult. You're at the back of the line, and you just got to keep clawing your way closer to the front of the line. And you got to understand, I did that 4 times. I did that in LA. I started from the back and had to work my way up. Then I moved to Maryland back home in 2008. I was in the back and had to claw my way back up. Then I moved to New York City. I was in the back and had to claw my way back up. And then I went to Las Vegas and I was in the back and had to claw my way back up.
I missed that. So what was that about? Why
I
Vegas?
went to Vegas. You know what? I was so tired of traveling. I was so tired of traveling because, we traveled overseas for the troops and, I've been to lots of countries overseas, just a plane ride over there is like 2 days, so, and in the beginning, it's exciting. Everything's exciting in the beginning.
Yeah.
But then after you do something for a few years, you're like, okay, what's the next
chapter? Wear and tear. That wear and tear.
That living out of a suitcase. And, so I said, what do you want to do next? And I said, well, I want to be able to work somewhere and sleep in my own bed. So I said, let's try Vegas. Because if you get a residency in Las Vegas,
true story.
And you're in the same place several nights a week, you can sleep at home.
Yeah.
And then Vegas was cheap. It still is. Like you can get a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom in Vegas for $700 a month, and that includes your cable.
Yeah. So did you get the residency or you were just a resident?
I was just a resident. I was trying to get a residency. I almost got it. Edwin San Juan got it. He snuck in right in and got it. And Edwin got the residency. But you know what? It still was a great experience. I met a lot of new comics that I had never known, never met before. A lot of us are still friends to this day. It was a great experience. A lot of fun. Did a lot of the big casinos and, everything is a learning experience, so that's what it is. My
only Vegas story is I only know one person that had a residency. That was George Wallace. Yeah. And I remember early on, this 08, 07, and I told him, he was like, come on down anytime, man. Just come on down and tell, just leave my name at the door. And I came, I said, yeah, I called him one time. I said, yo, me and my wife here. And he was like, your wife? And then he hung up on me. Like he was. But anyway, moving on. He was that I was married. So let's go back to Hollywood. So you're in the writers' rooms. You're writing for shows. You pitching. You're doing all that. You mentioned being side by side with a legend. Now this is a white lady, I presume.
No, black lady. Sarah
really?
Johnson, black lady.
Okay.
Yeah, and she co-created Moesha along with Vis Spears and Ralph Farquhar. And Ralph Farquhar started out what he did. I think I think he did like Crush Groove or something. He did some big films, but then his big TV show was Married with Children. And
Yeah.
so for Married with Children, they went over and created, it was 3 African Americans, and they created Moesha with Brandy.
Yeah.
If you come in with a heavy hitter, it makes it a lot easier to sell your show.
But once you saw that they were taking care of their people, did that dissuade you in any way? Like, did that really take the wind out of your sails?
When I saw what?
When you saw that they were taking care of their people first, like you said, you couldn't get in the writer's room all the way because there were people in line and you had to learn that lesson. Did that make you bitter at all?
It didn't make me bitter because what I realized was there was a pecking order and these people were paying their dues in a sense. If you're the writer's assistant, that's a job I would never have. You are in that room, you're like a court stenographer. And I mean, you are typing and you are typing and you are and then every revision, then you got to change it to the pink script, and then you type and you type, then you just the blue script, then you type it, then it's the aqua script. And I mean, what they do is brutal. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm sitting in the room just throwing out jokes, laughing, so I didn't have that kind of pressure. And I was like, yeah, they deserve. So I couldn't even hate. My thing was, I was just glad that I had the 26 weeks to learn how to do it. And then I said, you know what, let me try to sell my own stuff. That's the way I came away. It was painful that I had to walk away from that writer's room on a successful show. But I understand that, if I got it. If I was the person in line, I would want my spot, so I had to, it didn't make it hurt any less. But I understood it. And everything in this industry, you have to get in there just to learn what the real protocols are, because I didn't have any idea. When I first started doing stand-up, I didn't even know what that entailed. I didn't know people were writing jokes.
What do you think they was doing?
I thought it was doing like we do on the back of the school bus, just jumping.
Off the top of the head, right? Yeah.
I didn't know they were preparing an act.
I had to learn that lesson too. Yeah.
I had to learn that lesson. And when you see them on TV, because Def Jam was our first real introduction into our peers doing comedy at a high level. We didn't realize they had been doing those jokes on the road for 3, 4, 5 years before we saw them. Yeah. And another thing we didn't realize, Lamont, was that people did Def Jam and bombed and they never aired them.
Yes. There are a couple
people never aired. They got up there, they choked, they bombed, and they never aired them. So we just thinking it's so easy. Everybody doing well. We don't realize how many people bombed and didn't get aired.
True story.
So I had to learn. I had to learn everything from the bottom to the top. But let me tell you this that I learned about being in a writer's room. You are essentially, it's like being on a Supreme Court. You're doing everything by committee.
Yes.
So it's not like you throw your best joke out there, and if everybody else go, your joke is not going to make it on air. As a stand-up comic, nobody can veto the words that are coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, that's real.
And that's what made it the best for me. I'm like, okay, well, y'all done shot down my jokes in this writer's room. Well, tonight I'm going to stage. I'm saying everything I want to say.
And also as a writer's assistant, you could have the best joke and won't get the credit for it.
Yeah, it could be political. It could be real political.
Yeah. All right. So fast forward to the pandemic, 2020. You're a lifelong creative, and everything's put on hold. What was it that inside of you that said, "All right, now's the time. Let me get these movies done. Let me do them myself. Let me go find a way to get them out, and keep it moving." How did we get to this place?
Well, this is really what happened. And I think for us as African Americans, the only thing that has held us back from really taking over the world is finances. Because I didn't have the finances to make these films features. It would cost me at least $300,000 to make these short films features. So because I didn't have $300,000, I had to make them short. So what I did was, before the pandemic, I wrote Trade, and I wanted Trade to be a feature. There's no way I was going to be able to get $300,000, but I found a company who was going to put $50,000 into it, but they owned it. I mean, owned it, so I signed a very bad deal. I will tell you that right now, because I didn't have any what they call narrative directing to start a reel with. I have all this reality show directing, which is not considered a narrative. You know, so I can't go get work. I couldn't get work as a filmmaker. I couldn't get work as doing television sides. I couldn't turn in a reel and apply for Grey's Anatomy because they had never seen me do a narrative. So I'm like, if I want to do a narrative, I'm going to have to go ahead and take this horrible deal. And it was horrible, but the outcome was amazing as far as my reel. Now, what I'm realizing as a director, you can't have a reel with one project. Right. Because you're applying for programs, and the people applying for programs with you have at least 3 projects. You know, they might have a music video. They might have a web series. They might have one narrative short film, but they have more stuff to intercut through their reel than my one project. I said, okay, so now I'm going to need at least 2 more. So once the pandemic hit, I was like, okay, you don't have nothing but time. But what you have to do is you have to get a crew and a cast willing to work in a pandemic. You know, and some people was like, I'm afraid of the COVID, girl. I can't do that. A lot of people was like, I have cabin fever. When and where do we start? You know, everybody got paid. And what I did was I sent a link to everybody. And the link was a place to go and get COVID tested for free. So I asked everybody to go get COVID tested 5 days before we shoot, because it takes like 3 days to get the results back. And everybody did it. Everybody was negative. So we were all good. We were calm about the fact that we had already been tested. And then everybody had individually packaged meals, drinks, of course, are individual. Everybody had on masks. You know, some people we had gloves available, all the antibacterial wipes and hand sanitizer. And we stayed 6 feet apart. You know, especially in a strip club, we had way more space. More space than we needed to socially distance. Right. So we got it done. We got it done. And I used the same group of people twice.
Oh, even more brilliant. And see, I wanted you to, you know, break that down and go into that to give people game on how to get stuff done. There's ways, and you know, from surviving in the game and in Hollywood for so long, you learn to do so much with so little. So in a time like this, you just activate. That is, I mean, today, that is the superpower. Look at that. That's the superpower on the Great Conjunction, using what you got. All right, let's jump into this this first one. We haven't talked about the second one yet, but let's jump into the Just Us trailer, written, directed, produced. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about the platform where these are being featured on. So here we go. This is Just Us, written, produced. Are you in this one?
No.
Okay, all right. Directed by Alicia Cooper, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
Phone's ringing. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. You've been out here living your best life all these years.
I give back to the community.
College boy.
I'm a good man.
Family man.
What do you want from me?
Confess!
I know I can never undo what I did before, but I'm trying to atone.
Get off me, man. Give me that. Oh, you son's black skin.
Okay. Came out the gate with ladies and gentlemen, comedian Alicia Cooper. Yeah, came out the gate with that one. Okay, then. All right.
But see, this is the thing, Lamont. What people don't realize about us as comics,
When
you think about comics are very dramatic people. You know what I'm saying? When you think about who wins Oscars, a lot of times they're the comedians. People don't even know Michael Keaton was a stand-up. You know what I'm saying? It's comedians. Look at Monique won an Oscar for Precious. Jamie Foxx won an Oscar. You know, a lot of the Robin Williams.
Right.
You know, so comics have levels. You know, they want to put you in a box, but comics have levels.
Now, I'm going to go real quick to the peanut gallery, our chat. Somebody mentioned 300,000 and they were surprised when you mentioned the budget. 500,000 is a term. It's called micro budget. Is it micro budget? That's low.
Yeah.
That's low in Hollywood. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the uphill battle that is when that's considered a low budget film between 300,000 and 500,000.
Yeah.
And also you left out, you're a hustler of all sorts. You left out the part about when you were crowdfunding, when you were trying to micro source in the beginning. That was about 2-3 years ago. I think it was for trade.
It was
and
for trade.
You hit your contact list. I remember the emails. You hit your contact list. It's like, here's the trailer. This is what I want to do. Here's the script.
Yeah.
Shoot me some money. It don't matter how much. I hadn't talked to you in years. I shut off $10.
Yeah. I needed that too.
Yeah. You gotta use your resources. So what platform? Because I see that I'm gonna put up the link shortly. There's a link to watch both of your new movies. How did you get affiliated with that platform?
Well, on LinkedIn, a lot of people hit me up on LinkedIn. That is really a good platform because that's where the business people tend to reside. Is LinkedIn, and I get hit up a lot on my DMs and just straight out. And a gentleman named Flea Lee hit me up, but when he hit me up, he was hitting me up about stand-up. He was like, "Are you interested in doing a stand-up special? We can try to put something together in Las Vegas." And I said, "You know what, Flea, right now, I'm trying to focus on this directing and this writing. I really want to be able to write and direct feature films." And so I said, I can't split myself up like that. You know what it takes to put together a comedy special, So I was like, right now, that's not where I am. I might be back there sometime late 2021. So then later on, he saw on LinkedIn some of my trailers. He reached back out again. And he said, "What are you doing with those?" I said, "You know what? I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with these." I said, because after I did them, I've just used them to cut together a director's reel so that I can get an agent and get some work. But I do want to get them out there. So Flea Lee is like basically a black Netflix.
Okay. You got a platform. Because I saw today, this is off topic. Clubhouse is already having issues and with content, and I see people all day with someone, when are we going to get our own? Black people need to make their own platform. Flea Lee TV is one of those streaming services.
Yes.
And here you have Alicia Cooper with 2 of her projects on there now, and which leads me to the second one, which you had me at the title. Let's talk about Fat Stripper and where that idea came from.
Okay, so first of all, Fat Stripper. I wasn't even gonna be the Fat Stripper,
Okay.
because people don't understand. Directing is a lot of work. You got every shot. You have to select every shot. So it's like you can't be in front of the camera and behind the scenes at the exact same time. So I can't be behind the monitor watching the shots if I'm the lead. So I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be a lot. But then I said, you know what? Go ahead. You've been acting forever. Go ahead and make yourself the lead. You just have to stop down and have them rewind back and show you the last shots. You can look at it afterwards, which takes a little bit longer, but it's doable. Other people do it all the time. Just go ahead and bet on yourself. You don't have to pay yourself like you would have to pay another actor. So I said, I'll go ahead and do it. And it was very challenging, very challenging. I mean, I was sweating because I'm playing 2 roles. So, and then it's hard to stay in character when you got to jump out of character to go direct. And the director on the set is the person, everybody, whatever question somebody has, comes to that director. Is this the right wardrobe? So-and-so ain't here yet. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, everything comes to that director. So I have to direct and I have to be in character. So it's like you jumping in and out of character. And then you have to, you're wearing many hats, many huge hats. Yeah. So, there's a couple shots I wasn't able to get. There's things that, I know that could have been done better. And the thing is that I'm doing it with a low budget. When Steven Spielberg and these guys do a film, they have the budget that supports them knocking it out the park.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing everything on a shoestring, but this is the way you want to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the way you want your early projects to look. So later on down the line, people be like, well, look how far you've come. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get into this trailer right now. From the people that didn't bring you P Valley comes Fat Stripper.
The coronavirus has taken the world by storm. This pandemic has come on like gangbusters.
Girl, I just started working again after being unemployed for 6 months.
Alicia Miller just can't catch a break.
If you touch an infected surface, you're screwed. Literally.
I can't afford to lose this job right now. And you know it's bad when I'm down to my last 4 gallons of Haagen-Dazs and 2 bags of Ruffles.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Girl, you know my panties are like a cop's body can around any black man. Off. You know what I'm saying? May I help you?
I'm here to see Smitty.
I can't loan you any money.
I'm here to strip. Oh, we fat shaming now.
Truly.
All right, you can start tonight. Be here at 9.
To promote me, Smitty, you stuck on these toothpicks. What you don't realize is thin is no longer in.
She certainly was one hot piece of tail.
And now, it's the return of Woo-Chee!
Oh!
Alicia Cooper stars in Fat Stripper. She strips for chips.
She strips for chips. Oh man, outstanding! I gotta give you a double round of applause for that. Don't put the waste. Now I'm putting the link in here. Now, Mr. Clarkson posted the link. Repost this one, Mr. Clarkson. This one is the one that includes my code, my special code. So repost this.
Yeah, make sure y'all click on the one that says Radio King.
Yeah, that's the one to say so they know that it came from here. So yeah, so there's that. And you can watch both movies through the link on that platform, correct? On that streaming service.
Both of them, they're both on there. It's $5.99 and a small service fee, but you can see both of them as of December 23rd. You know, the 22nd at midnight. He's doing like Netflix level stuff.
Okay.
Because the 22nd at midnight, just like how Netflix does. Because I just saw Mom Rainey's Black Bottom at midnight.
Right.
You know, so midnight after the 22nd, you'll be able to see it because it comes up live on the 23rd at 12 a.m. So yeah. Both of them. You'll see both projects on Flea Lee TV. And he put up the link for you. Lamont put up the link for you, the one that says Radio King. That's the link you want.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I'm really happy for you. I'm proud of you, and those projects look good. And we can't wait to watch them. What's next? Anything down the pike after this, or you just promoting this hard for 2021?
Yeah, I'm promoting real hard for 2021. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. I got a lot of people reaching out to me that want to air this. Fat Stripper's making some noise. You know? So and I plan on turning it into a feature. I want because Fat Stripper, the feature, we're gonna have Big Girl Night every Sunday. That's gonna be the night that pays the bills for the rest of the week. So I want to get Gabby Sitterbay in here to run the Big Girl Night. I want to get Lizzo in here because Lizzo's mentioned as part of, a part of this movie. And I want to get Joe's Freak Shack is the competition to Smitty's. And I want to get Snoop Dogg to play Joe of Joe's Freak Shack. So, yeah. We coming with the firepower in 2021.
And just know that, ladies and gentlemen, when y'all, you do pay for this, you're paying to get this done, for this work to get done, independent. I had a conversation with a buddy of mine that came up with me in radio, and we were talking about how the game has changed now. Everything is direct to fan base. Everything is direct to consumer. Like if you bang with me, if you rock with me, I sell to you, you buy from me. The middleman, those days are over. The big company, the plantations, the 360 deals, the labels let me show you what I got for you here.
Yeah. And these companies are shaking in their boots too, because they realize you don't need them.
Yeah. I saw, I was reading up on Kev on Stage. He just launched his own app.
Yeah.
And his fan base is so ridiculous that he did a live show and he had 15,000 people on the app. He did the show and streamed it through his own app. Yeah. Had 15,000 people at $12.
Woo-wee! Yeah. He put his kids through college. That's what I'm talking about. And we might as well keep the money in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're here for you. And if anytime you want to come back and talk about your wins and all of that, you're more than welcome. The door is open. Ladies and gentlemen, Alicia Cooper, Fat Stripper, and Just Us, 2 projects available now on Flea TV. The link is on the screen. You got to use that link. And that's the link that gets you where you need to be. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, Lamont. Thank you for everything.
Absolutely. Shout out to Flea. I see, he was in the chat. I appreciate you coming through.
Flea.
All right. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Fat Stripper and Just Us. That's funny. Let me stop the screen share. All right. Yeah, man. One more time for the one time. One more time for the one time. All right, yeah, make sure you use that link. That's the link to use. Yeah, that's the big homie. Yeah. All right, stand by. Oh, you know what that means? I didn't say this earlier, but 10% off Drunken Fruit. Shoot them an email. When you mention my name, 10% off the duo bundles and the trinket bundles, holiday style. Mention the show. Get you the discounts. All right, let me see. There's a couple stories and then we're going to dip up out of here. Close that window. Protect my G's. Close that window. Protect my G's. Now, this is an old story. Well, it's last week, but so much has changed since then. But I wanted to get this out anyway. We'll be talking about the stimulus package tomorrow. And Life Taggers will be back. The gentleman, Seth and KC from Life Taggers will be back to walk me through the app and break it down. Another Black-owned social media platform. Something that, you know, our people built and that we can use. When I was talking about Clubhouse, I'm not on there yet, but I just been watching let me get this off the screen. I'm all talking. Let me get that off the screen. I've been watching the antics and the fallout. So one of the people I follow, Reza Islam, who I would love to have on this show, said he was already, Clubhouse ain't been up 2 weeks. He's already suspended for 72 hours. And I'm assuming if you know him and what type of content he puts out, I'm assuming it was because of some content he might have been participating in, because, you know, Clubhouse, if you're not familiar, audio chat, they got rooms and it's like conference centers and workshops and breakout rooms and all that, but it's all voice, no text. So I'm sure he must have said something on there that triggered the analyticals, the algorithms. It was like, you can't talk that shit over here. And he was like, yo, he said, I knew there was going to be holes in it. This is what he said on Twitter. He was like, 72, I get suspended for 72 hours. I ain't even been on there for 72 hours. And then people below that is, you know, going off. They like, yeah, see, we need our own stuff. We need our own stuff. But if you don't know that we have our own stuff, or if everybody ain't racing and running to our own stuff, you know, we're going to be in the same place that we are. So we bringing Life Taggers in, which is a dynamite app idea. They'll be here tomorrow. And you just saw Alicia Cooper, who put out 2 movies on a Black-owned streaming platform. 2020, man. Like, what's going on? What's really going on, man? Can't even imagine and can't even believe what be happening this year, and the year ain't over. So yeah. Oh yeah, E40 versus Too Short. Anybody want to call in and talk about that? Let me hook the phone up. Call him, put the number in. Too Short and E40. That was entertaining. It was aggressive. Where's my little hookup? Anybody want to call and talk about Too Short? His numbers on the screen. One call at a time. Don't everybody go at once. Cherie said, I'm loving the Clubhouse. Yeah, it's different things to different people. So I'm not on it. But I'm hearing good things and bad things. So I guess it all depends on how you use it. But anyway, E40, PJ says, Clubhouse is my new addiction. See, that's the problem. I don't need any new addictions. It's already easily distracted. It's too much shit for my brain. So the most recent verses, E40 versus Too Short, was just like a go down memory lane, because they not enemies by no stretch, and they're very good friends or whatever, and they rep the same soil, same turf. See what I did there? Same soil. But yeah, one of them's from the town, Oakland, and E40's from Vallejo. You know what I mean? So it was you got a good history lesson. You got to hear some classics. You got to hear bitch 1,000 million times. Bitch. What's Short's favorite word? Bitch. Like, once you hear it and you start saying it, you can't stop saying it. Bitch. And so yeah, it was that 1,000,000 times. They was getting drunk off of the marketing and promotion is in full tilt on verses now. I mean, Apple Music, Ciroc, You know, they got the visuals, they got the sponsors, everything is on one thou wow. And so they were drinking. E40 has his own tequila. Puffy has his own tequila. I'm not mentioning the names because they're not buying no time. But they got drunk halfway through and really was turned up. We're kind of spoiled now though, because the last couple versi have gotten million plus viewers. So by the time I forgot it was on, by the time I got into it, it was at like 267. And I was like, oh, ain't even nobody in here. It's 267,000 people watching at the same time. But I'm so spoiled because the previous ones went to 1 million plus. I was like, man, ain't nobody even in here. And but it was good. You definitely, West Coast, especially Bay Area music, has been so key and pivotal in influencing a lot of rappers and their style and their lingo. But musically, if you're not familiar with Bay Area music, you would have no clue who did what. No clue. If you ain't grow up on it or weren't exposed to it, no clue. I used to hate E40. I'm from the East Coast. Sprinkle Me, I think, came out when I was in high school, and I thought it was the world's most terrible song. Followed up by Hurricane. You Can Call Me Slurricane. Dumb. I moved to LA. You get in where you fit in. You start catching the vibe or whatever. You start going to places. They playing Bay Area music. Now, here's a little fun fact about California. North and South, two totally different places. Two different atmospheres, types of people. People from the Bay and people from LA are completely different. People from the Bay are more like East Coast. So what happens when I go out to the spots and hear Bay Area music playing? It's like, oh yeah, that's okay. I can get with that. Hyphy, I immediately turned into a hyphy head during the years that I was out there. Okay, hold on, let me turn that down. All right, welcome to the program. Let's go live. Who's calling? Can you hear us? Oh, let me turn you up.
Man.
Yo, can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, Mr. Clarkson, welcome to the program.
Hey, what's going on, good people? What's going on, bro? Man, I'm glad that you brought the verses up, man. About it's I hate to say it brought me to simpler times.
Yeah. When you could just call a lady a bitch and she was like, me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A simpler
Most
time.
importantly, because that's my favorite word.
Favorite word. Yeah.
But I was sitting there and I watched a little bit of it with my son, and he's looking at me like, "Yo, this is good. Like we're not like the music's bad, but we're good. We're safe to do this right now."
Yeah.
So he was really concerned, and
Yeah.
I was like, "No, this is a version of your dad, man." So he was like, "Okay, bet," because this is someone that is. My son, he's clearly into music and everything else. So this was kind of weird for him because he was just like, yo, afterward, he's 10th grader. He said, man, so they didn't get canceled?
Oh,
like,
jeez.
no.
Canceled. Wasn't even in existence. You didn't even get a slap on the wrist in those times.
Right. If I save her, then that's like literally what's going on in his mind is that he's like, man, this is crazy.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments though was the Nate Dogg tribute. I don't know why.
Oh, I must have missed that.
Feel like the Nate Dogg tribute was nice, man. When they just went to a salute to just kind of respect Nate and his hooks, man. Just like the hooks that he was singing. I would say, Nate is the forefather that gave us Sleepy Brown. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta love the fact of what Nate was doing back then. But yo, it was a fun, like I said, just simpler time, and it was just very confusing for my 15-year-old child.
Yeah.
Very confusing
because
for
there
him,
was times I'm so oversensitized now because of the times we lived in. I was listening and I was like, and we had it on and the kids is in the room and it was like, oh, this is aggressive. No, this is aggressive. And it was just, nigga, bitch. Like that be the whole song. And I'm sitting there bobbing my head, and then when they go, they take it hyphy, I'm in there, going hyphy with it, whatever. Tell me where to go. Tell me where to go. Tell me where to go.
Because you got that, you bobbing your head, and my son just keep looking at me like, wait a minute. Where'd your degrees go, Father?
Yeah,
like, what's going on?
Yeah. Academia went right out the window.
You know what I'm saying? Just tell me where to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
I got these pimp degrees, little bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you how you should talk to these young. Never mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you gotta reel it. You just gotta reel it back. So
yeah.
He's now he's in this crossroad, this watershed moment. Like, well, dang, what can I say? He's trying to find his own musical voice.
Right.
I have a 15-year-old that loves Tribe and loves the production of Pharrell, but yet and still, you can talk to him about Ready to Die as far as like one of his favorite albums. But it's because of the way he digests media, and especially because we grow up with kids that don't have a favorite radio station right now, right? He's processing music so differently, and then to see like, man, like 250,000 people is watching this, and everybody's good. Like, they not gonna get in trouble, Dad? You sure?
Right.
Yeah, they good.
Right, and even you can see it. The atmosphere was there too, because even Too Short, as wild as he is, he had a certain awareness about him, because they were a lot of I lived out there for 6 years, and there's a certain level of insecurity, because in music everything is secondary to the East, or was.
Right.
It was, and secondary to New York, right, when you're talking rap.
Correct.
So there's always been like a little insecure. Yeah, we got heroes too. Yeah, we got Snoop. You know what I'm saying? They throw out their Mount Rushmore, but there's still a level of insecurity. So I even saw in Too Short, because they were paying attention to the comments. And I'm sitting there watching it, because I know how that is. I'm like, even right now, the peanut gallery in the chat, I'm like, don't look at the comments, because Too Short was like in his feelings. He went on like a 10-minute rant. Just because y'all don't understand it, don't mean it ain't, most of your favorite rappers grew up on us. And I'm like, yo, you don't have to explain it. Keep rocking.
So unfortunately, he kind of does. And I'm gonna say this.
Well, to the unknown, from the unknown aspect.
Right. I'm saying this is gonna be my controversial statement for
okay,
right?
unpopular opinion.
Sober Thoughts this upcoming Monday.
Okay.
The South hold on the coattails of West Coast hip hop.
Yeah.
Just follow.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Right? Sure.
So there was a time, right, when the Source Awards dropped, and it's the famed Source Awards where Outkast was winning everything, and anytime they got up to accept an award, they got booed. And I just remember Andre 3000 being like, "Yo, y'all gonna have to understand the South got something to say." And then Negroes from New York, boo.
Yeah. Right.
Killing these killing these dudes.
Right.
And I'm saying that the West Coast introduced that there was a whole other region of the United States that was doing hip hop.
Right.
And because they got accepted, I'm saying the South, therefore, now had a platform to walk in as well.
Yeah. Well, and also, here's another fun fact. The South is the largest market. It's the largest broadcast market. So, and this is a fun fact, and I say fun fact because this is my years working closely with BET when it was in DC, and they told us, I went to audition after audition after audition. They was like, you talk like you're from here. That's not going to work on our network. That's what they told us.
Wow.
Everybody that was from DC, you talk like you're from here is not going to, our largest, the biggest market is in the South. And so they catered to that. So musically, that's when the South took over, when they started taking over the radio and taking over video airwaves and all of that, because that's the largest market. So everything went, I still, to this day, People be like, yo, my favorite group, 3 6 Mafia. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
Get out of here. You like,
I mean it, seriously.
Yeah, and mean it, for real. And I'm like, stop it, knock it off. Nah, they rap, they lyricists. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But it was just that programming. And you know, they catered to that. So then it became now music is nothing without the South. Hip hop is the South.
Correct.
New York is on the ropes.
Correct.
And they keep every 2 years, they try to throw somebody back out there and people are like, nah, New York, have a seat, we'll be with you.
No, I mean, even for that whole time of like Southern dance music, Southern dance, you know, So Def, you know, No Limit, of course, I feel so bad. I can't believe I'm doing this. Juvenile, Hot Boys, all these people just really kind of went out of their way to just, you know, build this culture that's like undeniable.
Yeah.
And I think that once they hit, it was over with.
Well, yeah, but the piece, but no, I agree. But the piece I'm adding it was because of TV time. That was the game. That was the game changer for the viewer at home. The viewer at home doesn't even know what's happening. You just know, I like this video. I'm seeing it over and over again. I like them. Now that's my favorite movement, is the South movement. They don't know that was a maneuver. You see what I'm saying? To cater to the largest market in their viewership, in their national viewership. So
nice.
Yeah, but Too Short and E40, and I love the song they did together, which is one of my favorite songs. Stop Acting Like a Bitch. That joint right there was so hard, and they waited all the way to the end to play that one. Man,
yeah, bravo for them on that, and also for telling people to go vote.
Oh yeah. They got the little moments and everything. They got the cue cards, you know what I mean? They got the talking points. That's why it's such an organized situation now. I'm here for it. I'm glad it's evolved to what it is. Like it's a major thing.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that Joe Biden didn't jump in, you know, like how Vice President-elect Kamala Harris jumped in for the Brandy Monica one. I thought he was going to jump in there.
In the comments? In the comments?
No, you know, on the screen, on the E40 Too Short one.
Oh, okay.
Just one time, like, just tell me where to go. Just one time.
Yeah. Somebody
said big old teeth one time.
Somebody said in the chat room we should take this to Clubhouse because this is what they're doing. Will I be able to? Someone that's in Clubhouse, will I be able to make revenue from talking in Clubhouse?
So here's the thing, right? No.
Oh, okay.
because it's very much so. So here's my thing on Clubhouse. It's a lot of people playing pretend with one another, to a certain extent for me. And it's a lot of pseudo intellectuals. However, there are some really good panels that I've sat on already.
Okay.
And I ain't gonna lie, I've made some nice little money being, you know, Professor Clarkson, being Mr. Clarkson on it. And it's some good things on that end.
Wait, slow up. Someone has paid you to talk in a room on Clubhouse already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Christmas money.
Oh, okay. I was unaware of this. Say less.
Yeah. That was Christmas money.
How did that conversation come up? They was like, "Yo, can you?"
Yeah, you know, bro, come on, don't do that. Yeah, so basically, what it is that Clubhouse is really about building out your bio, right? So for I'm not going to give my handle of how you follow me on Clubhouse, blah blah blah, but a couple of people that were doing urban educational panels saw my bio and was like, "Hey, what do you got up around 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon?" I was like, "Well, nothing. Hey, can you sit on this panel and just kind of talk to us about, what you're experiencing in DC?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's get it." So, it was 30 minutes. It was light work. At the end of it, the girl was like, "Hey, send me your Cash App because I want to send you some money." So then all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, that hit. Okay, fair enough."
So you didn't know it was coming?
No, I had no idea it was coming until I realized that this is a culture that exists of you can sit on being a panel and make some nice little money. And I mean, it's been cool. Now, I've sat in some rooms about, people talking about hip hop or people talking about movies and kind of like resume building and, just talked on that. And it's cool. But really, there is a market for panels because there's just not a lot of what I would consider well vetted experts in certain topics.
Okay.
So if you have somebody that's like, I want to host a room and I want you to be in a room and you talk about your expertise, then yeah, it's money out there to be made. It's definitely money to be out there to be made.
Say less. Say less. And why wouldn't you hesitated on giving your handle? Why wouldn't you?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'll give my handle, man. It's I'm putting in.
No, you don't have to. I'm just curious why you said that. Is there some other, room that you be in that, is not?
Yeah. So, you can find me GI3 Clarkson. Basically, that's how I've always have rolled it. GI3 Clarkson. Okay. And, follow me anytime that I'm on. In fact, last week, I introduced a series which was called For People Who Can Read Without Moving Their Lips Silently.
Okay.
And we talked about the failures of digital learning. How can it get better, and what can parents, what can we get from parents to help us as teachers? And there was some good talk, man. I had about like 60 people in a room, and brought some people on stage.
Do you find your social media numbers expand after that?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I definitely got a jump on the IG, and which was huge. I really don't manage Twitter well enough, but I definitely saw my numbers jump on IG, and some really cool things happening as far as people approach me direct messages about some opportunities that I got coming up in January or whatever. So,
oh well, then now I got to get on. All right, I got to get on. All right, there it is.
Yeah, I mean. You're way more savvy at this than I am, so I know you'll definitely be more than fine. But I'll tell you who's on Clubhouse right now that's doing like numbers, which is crazy. Is Joe Budden.
Well, he does numbers anyway. He's always known how.
But I mean, like he's everywhere. And then Mace is host Family Feud, and with Cash App and Money Out. It's weird. It's like a bonanza of just the bizarre, just random stuff sometimes.
Okay, I now have to check it out because I went the other direction. I found a company that owns it, and I bought 2 shares of stock. So I went that way.
I definitely got those stocks.
Yeah. So now I got to go the other way and actually jump in and see what it's talking about. So that's fine. I appreciate it, Mr. Clarkson.
You got an invite?
I've got about 27 invites. So
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hey, so no big deal. Hey, save time for Roland because Roland's in Clubhouse right now. Roland, get out of Clubhouse.
All right.
Just save time for Roland. Bro.
There it is.
All right, bro.
Mr. Clarkson. All right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We actually don't have time for Roland, so we're gonna have to squeeze him in at another time, and I'll let y'all know when that is. But beyond that, man, thank y'all for checking out the show, man. Shout out to Alicia Cooper for coming on Fleet TV. The link is in the chat. Follow that link for a code that comes back to me, and they track and they let you, they know where people heard about it from and all that. So I appreciate that. We do it like that. Also, our Cash App is open. I'm still panhandling to get our production situation off the ground. $ Lamont King 06. Now I got to go check out Clubhouse to see how I can make that work for this, do all that. And hey, man, it's so much. You just got to remember so much. You got to be on everything, man. Who has time, man? It's just, it's a hustle. Entrepreneurialism is a hustle. But you got to love it. All right, I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Lord willing. Be safe.